Napoli's transfer business is up in the air. Arsenal want Dortmund's defender, Newcastle United are a shambles, Solskjaer wants a young ambitious squad, and we've got a roundup of all the day's transfer talk. That and more coming up in the next few minutes as I am your host Matt Frodick, you are the Onefootballers, and this is the Daily News. So first off, and to Napoli's transfer business, which looks to hit a bit of a snag, as apparently there's a complete disagreement between Carlo Ancelotti and the rest of the club. Yesterday, Gazzetta dello Sport in Italy claimed that Carlo Ancelotti had okayed the sale of Insigne and Allen. This led to Napoli, the official club Twitter, tweeting out that nothing had been agreed upon and those players weren't for sale. However, if a suitable offer did come in, then they would be valued. This doesn't really bode well for Napoli, who are looking to sign the likes of James Rodriguez. They've also been linked with bringing Kieran Trippier into the club from Spurs, and also Kalidou Koulibaly could be going out of the club. He has said, while currently on national duty with Senegal in the African Cup of Nations, that he will be going back to Napoli after the Cup, but he doesn't know whether or not he'll be there next season. They could bring around £85 million in for him if the rumour linking him to Manchester United is to be true. This is all quite worrying for the only team pretty much that's going to be able to challenge Juventus for the Serie A title. If they fall away, then it really is up to Maurizio Sarri and his men to romp to another league title, which will be their 9th in a row next season. With Cristiano Ronaldo and a few others in the ranks, it looks like they'll win it anyway, so they definitely need some challengers like Napoli if they're going to be pushed all the way. But believe me, if you think that's the only ridiculous story between a manager and a club, well, you've got another thing coming just a little later on. But first off, we'll move to Arsenal, who are interested in Dortmund's defender Dan-Axel Zagadou. The 20-year-old is currently with the France under-21s and captaining the side in the European Championships, and he's really impressed the North London club. Now, of course, the two clubs do have a bit of history, especially with Sven Mislintat moving between the two. He's now not at either club anymore, but his legacy still stands. He managed to bring in the likes of Solskjaer and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang to the club, and now it looks like Arsenal could be moving for yet another Dortmund player. The slight issue with Zagadou is that because he is such a talented youngster, Dortmund are obviously going to want a lot of money. But they did just sign Mats Hummels. Obviously, Mats Hummels isn't really one for the future, but if he's going to be playing for most of the time ahead of the likes of Zagadou, well, maybe a loan deal could be a preferred option. We all know that Arsenal's transfer budget isn't exactly the biggest in the world, so maybe a loan deal could work for both sides. Arsenal get a great player for the season they don't have to pay too much money for, and Dortmund will have a young player developing for the future. So next up, and this really is a joke, Newcastle United, what a shambles. Those aren't even my words, they're the words of former striker and legend Alan Shearer, who is completely outraged that the club have decided to let Rafa Benitez go. We mentioned yesterday that his contract is expiring on Saturday, and it's confirmed now from Newcastle that he will be leaving the club after both of them could not agree terms. But there is a massive twist in the tale. Rafa Benitez did not find out about this until Newcastle had released a statement and a friend had phoned him to tell him that he wouldn't be at the club anymore. Benitez said that nothing from his camp was final and that he wanted to talk with Newcastle, assuming that he had until Saturday to discuss it, and Newcastle said that Rafa Benitez's camp were the ones who called off the decision in the first place. Obviously, it's a complete miscommunication. If I hadn't known any better, I would send them both to a sort of couples therapy. Regardless of this, though, it seems that this may not be the end of the story. If Benitez and owner Mike Ashley can get off their high horse and put their pride to the side, they may, just may, be able to discuss a new deal for the Spaniard. As it looks at the moment, though, he will be leaving the club after doing fantastic on such little resources, and if Mike Ashley continues to stay at the club, well, there's only one way that they are going. That is down. So next up, and to Manchester United, where Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants a young and ambitious squad to take into the new season. This is obviously a double-sided sword, and both of it brings good news for Manchester United fans. On one side, they'll be getting some young, brilliant players that are exciting to watch, and they'll actually want to go to the games and support their team. And on the other hand, it means that all the old farts that have been taking most of the flack for their poor performance this season will be out of there. I'm looking at you, the likes of Ashley Young, Antonio Valencia, and Phil Jones. They've already brought in Daniel James, who looks like an exciting young attacking winger. Alongside this, they've also agreed a fee with Crystal Palace for the fullback Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who had a fantastic year in the Premier League. So did David Brooks, who's also on the transfer list apparently after a brilliant year with Bournemouth. And lastly but not least, Lille's Nicolas Pepe, who had such an unbelievable season in Liga that the whole of Europe was looking at him, is also rumoured to be on his way to Old Trafford. That, though, will have to wait until after the African Cup of Nations. Much like with Kalidou Koulibaly, Pepe's focus is definitely on helping the Ivory Coast to win the title. He did that by helping them to a 1-0 win over South Africa in the opening game of the competition. There were other Premier League stars in this lineup as well, including Serge Aurier, Jonathan Khadija and Wilfried Zaha, who came off the bench. So finally, we come to a roundup of all the day's transfer news. Ajax have completed the signing of Sevilla's attacking midfielder Quincy Promes. Elsewhere, Spurs are interested in Danish starlet Andreas Skov Olsen. Atletico Madrid want to look at Nicolas Otamendi. And lastly but not least, Bayern Munich have signed New Zealand youngster Sarpreet Singh. So what do you guys think of Napoli's potential business, and how much of a massive mistake have Newcastle made in letting Rafa Benitez go? What a shambles. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, whilst you're down there, you can also smash the like button and click here or here to check out all of the other videos we've got going on Onefootball. You can also check out my socials in the links in the description. But until next time, I will see you guys later.